Today we're talking about the Obsbot Tail Air 4K PTZ camera. Phil, what the hell is PTZ? Well, PTZ is pan, tilt, and zoom. So it can either zoom into you automatically if you set it like that using its intelligence, or you can set it up manually so you basically click different sizes. So you can do like full body, half body, close up, and it will zoom into that. Right, so I found a moment where the weather is really nice here in Poland. So I'm out here and I wanted to show you a little bit about the auto framing system with the Tail Air. Now, it's maybe not something that every single creator would use, but it's definitely cool for live streaming. And if you are doing live broadcasting, this kind of gets rid of a lot of people because it zooms in for you really nicely, cleanly. You can set different points. You've got P1, P2, P3 you can set up. And it kind of saves costs. So for example, if I were to hit P1, let's have a look right there, P1, we can talk about the playground my daughter loves playing on. If we hit P2, we can talk about the graffiti on the wall right there. And if we hit P3, we can talk about the amazing elevator they have installed on that beautiful old factory. Then if I hit myself again and we go into here, you can see that we have 9 shots. So it's like a live broadcasting system. So I can press auto and it will auto the shot. So if I'm walking around here, it's going to have a nice auto shot. Now if I want it to be a close-up, I'm going to press close-up. Full body, full body. If I want a half body, half body. If I want to go back to P3, it's going to go back to P3 and I can talk more about the elevator or the playground, one of my daughter's favorite places and my son's. So that is pretty cool. You do have to go back and get yourself to get back into the tracking system. It will save a lot of money if you're doing live broadcasting and you want something like this. You can have someone on the side basically just clicking through and talking to you about it. Let's talk about the graffiti. I mean, it's not the best, is it? Let's talk about this shot right here. Let's talk about that shot right there. I mean, it's really pretty fantastic and it does it really, really well. So this is a very interesting system when it comes to live tracking and what you can do when it comes to a series of setup shots. Now, it's not a gimbal, but it's a camera that has 2 axes. So it can track you and it can do it very nicely. It has a load of different options that you can change, and you can change all the camera settings manually, like ISO and shutter speed. So that's pretty cool. It is made for live broadcasting. It is made for high quality streaming with a very low latency. But I don't do any of that. I'm a creator, I'm a filmmaker. I do things in my studio. I go outside every now and then when it's not too cold. So I wanted to show you how I would use this camera in my use case scenario as a YouTuber, a filmmaker, ways that I can use it in my workflow. Now, it's pretty cool that you can also control the focus. And it's got an f1.8 lens on here. It's pretty big at the front. It's equivalent to a 23mm sensor. So you can get some nice out of focus bokeh on it. And it's pretty cool in low light as well. Now, it has a 3.5mm audio jack here, so you can connect a wireless microphone to it, and as it's tracking you, it can hear you as well, no matter where you are. You know, I can go over here, and I can still be tracked and be heard. So this, as a vlogger's camera, as a creator's camera, is pretty fantastic. It also has a on-off button and a USB-C. Now, the USB-C, you can connect a power bank to it and have it go all day long, but it does have an internal battery in here that you charge, and you've got 4 little LEDs here, which will show you 25% on the battery. So that's pretty cool. On the other side, you do have a micro SD compartment, so you can put in the micro SD, and that will allow you to record onto it. So you don't have to do any of the crazy live streaming stuff, but you can actually record onto it and use it like a normal camera. Below that, you do have a tiny micro HDMI. On top of the actual little spinny axis here, you do have a kind of Knight Rider diode. And the LED will tell you more or less what's going on, because you can also do hand gestures. So you can basically do this to start filming, to stop filming, do this to start tracking, to stop tracking. But putting my hand up, there you go, it's going to start tracking me again. So if I go over here and say I want this view, put my hand up, it's going to stop tracking me. So it's going to stay where I left it. Now, if I do this, I can zoom right there. And if I do this, I can zoom back out. Now, apparently, I can also, let's try it, put my camera down for a second, do this. So there are a load of hand gestures you can use. Now, it doesn't have a screen, which I think is probably the biggest con, because it would have been nice just to have a little tiny screen here so that you have a preview of it, because I have to keep on looking at my phone on the app to see how everything looks. Now, the app's really great and it comes in really handy. It's got a lot of cool features, but if it had a tiny little screen on here, it would have been a lot more helpful for people who don't want to take out their iPhone or their Android mobile phone. I wish as well that it came with a remote so I can basically from afar just press record, stop record, because this from afar isn't always readable, so you might have to come up closer, start it, and then walk away and start your script. It does have obviously an internal microphone, so it does hear you pretty well, and it does a good job with audio. Now, apart from it not having a touchscreen, it's, like I said, this is not a gimbal. This is a 2-axis camera that kind of spins around, and it is a PTZ. So it's going to pan, it's going to tilt, but it's not going to stabilize your image. So if you're thinking of walking around with it, it won't have much stabilization. I would recommend putting it on a tripod so it can nicely, spin around and follow you, which is really great. The other thing is that it does not have any log kind of profile. So what you see is what you get, but you do have a few different options as to colors, standard, pastel, and you can do a custom one as well. You can put the sharpness down and make it look a bit more cinematic. Now, if you do want to just set it down, on the bottom you will have a 1/4-20, and it's got a nice kind of rubber base, so if you put it on something, it won't slip off. The 1/4-20 I've got connected to a Manfrotto RC2 plate, so I basically stick it on my tripod and I'm away, which is really great. Now, in the box you will get a nice little carry case, which is pretty cool, with a little Obsbot logo, and you're going to get a USB-C to USB-C cable. It's a pretty thick, proper one. You'll get a USB-C, USB-C, USB-C splitter, so you put it in the USB and you can put double USB in, and you get a USB-A to USB-C adapter. Apart from that, if you do want to use the Ethernet, you can use the Ethernet, and you will have to pick up one of these, which is basically USB-C to Ethernet adapter, and that will allow you to connect that way, because you can either connect to the cellular streaming or you can connect to the Ethernet streaming. Like I said, this is not stuff I do, but it will allow you to do that. Filming outside with it is absolutely fine, but you've got to remember it is not waterproof. This is not a GoPro. Don't get it wet. Don't chuck it underwater. It will, outside, work well. It will track you. And like I said, it is good to connect your own audio, because then you're going to be able to move away from it far away and it's still going to be able to hear you nice and clearly. All in all, the Obsbot Tail Air 4K PTZ camera works really well as a creator's camera, a YouTuber's camera, and you can get a really nice image out of it. For streaming and for live broadcasting, I'm sure it does a fantastic job, but for me, it's been doing a really fun job just taking it out, filming sequences, filming myself doing things, and I do like that it follows you. And if it does lose you, it's going to find you again when you come back in the frame, which is a huge plus. Obsbot, fantastic, fantastic camera. Like, subscribe, all down below. If you're looking for affiliate links, you'll find them there as well. And I'm going to catch you on the next one.